All right, guys, so I want to take a look at the last 2 weeks of this rookie performances. So as always, I put a chart together, kind of taking a look exactly every single week how good all rookies have done. Now, I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about week 1 to week 13. So let's get an updated look at the last 2 weeks and where these rookies have really, been. Now, the thing that really sucks so much is Poison Ivy in week 14, obviously our 7th round draft pick here, had a 90 grade. And, it's not easy to follow that up by having another amazing grade. But at the same time, listen, okay? He had the best grade of the whole entire season. Outside of Chase Brown in week 14, too, there was no other rookie who had even close to a 90 overall grade. So it looked like, okay, well, maybe this could be promising. He got some more snaps. He got on the field more. He's starting to look good. And then out for the season. Out for the season in week 15 versus the Minnesota Vikings. And it hurts even more because all it takes is one really great game for a rookie to start, consistently getting better and better and better. And maybe that just simply was the case for him because, again, he didn't play all of these games. He played week 5, didn't play week 6, didn't play week 8 to week 10. And he finally started getting more snaps, right? He started getting out there and actually getting on defense. And then, bye-bye. Now, of course, special team snaps, he is getting, he was still getting a lot of great special team snaps throughout the whole entire season. But when it comes to straight defense, it looked like he finally blossomed. Maybe this is something. And then he's out for the season. And now we're not going to see what he is until next season. Which, again, like I said before, it really does suck. The number 2 guy here, we have Yoshi. Yoshi has played 141 of 886 snaps. As we talked about last video, he did start off the season kind of wishy-washy, kind of like, okay, middle to awful, a really decent, good run. I mean, amazing run right here. And then he kind of fell off a little bit, got hurt, middle run, 2 bad games. And then in week 15, he actually did go ahead and kind of go a little bit back up. I feel like there was a whole entire Linsanian run for Yoshi where it's like, I felt like the offense, Joe Burrow, everyone wanted to get him the football. And I felt like that was this period. Like this period of time, everyone wanted Yoshi and they made sure Yoshi had that football in his hands and had the best chance possible to succeed. And then after this little Linsanian run here, I feel like no one really talks about the guy. It's not really anything special. Like, this is when he had the touchdown in back-to-back games, right? He had 2 touchdowns. He also had, this was week 9, which was, what was this? The, Bills game? 49ers. No, this was the Bills game, I believe. Yeah, Bills game. So, he had that, like, back-to-back crazy runs. And then it just hasn't been anything ever since then, pretty much. Now, of course, we've had guys come back like T. Higgins. We've had guys, really step up like Trenton Irwin and other guys. But it just seems so weird because it's like there was a period of time these 3 weeks where it seemed like this offense was dedicated to, okay, let's get Yoshi the ball. Let's get him some, play time. Let's see how good he is. And then after these 3 weeks, it's just like, oh, yep, no, we're done. Like, most of his 141 snaps came through these 3 weeks. Like, that's literally where most of his snaps of the season came, was a 3-week period, which I still think is kind of funny. It's that crazy. Brad Robbins, the guy that everybody hates. Yeah, there's, like, no positive. He's a rookie punter, but, I mean, the guy's not doing good this season. Like, he's had, 1 green spot the whole entire year, which was week 4. And other than that, I mean, he had a yellow. He had a really bad week against the Colts. And again, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I made a whole entire video about this. I'm not going to keep dwelling on this point that, like, this is a rookie punter. We have to give him time. We have to give him, chances to get better and continue to progress. And through year 2, 3, he's going to get better. But, I think everyone has kind of made up their mind on this guy already. And I think that's not correct / fair to him because he's going to get better in his 2nd and 3rd year. No punter starts off the rookie year looking like they're the best punter of all time. Some kickers do, but punters do not. And we looked at it in a whole entire video. Again, I have it on the channel if you would like to get a more dissected look of him. All right, Chase Brown, the guy who finally now is getting carries and being utilized after being out for what? 4 games pretty much. He finally now is getting some looks and getting some time on the field. He had an amazing breakout game versus the Colts, an 82.4 grade. And then against the Vikings, he kind of fell off a little bit, 58.1. Now, he did get less snap count, less snaps against the Vikings than he did against the Colts. That definitely did, hurt his performance in some way. But other than that, it's just like he had that really great Colts game, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is the guy. And now it's like, oh. Okay, yeah, he's a guy. I don't know. It's based on utilization and also based of game flow. You look at that Vikings game, right? The first half, we scored 3 points, okay? The second half, we actually started getting going. For the Colts game, we started off hot. 14 points in the first half. And then the second half, we continued to run, right? First play of the game is a touchdown. Well, not first play, but the first drive of the game is a touchdown pass on a screen pass to Chase Brown. That gets up his grade immensely. And in the rest of the game, he played pretty good too. Had a great carries, had a couple big burst-off runs. It's really game flow. That's why I always say when it comes to certain grades, especially when it comes to week-to-week basics. If you look at one said week and say, wow, this guy had a crazy great performance. I know I did the same thing with Poison Ivy. But you got to kind of take some of it with a grain of salt. Poison Ivy, I will say, for him not getting many snaps, getting the most snaps in week 14, and then showing that is a very positive look. But for most players, you kind of have to look week to week of like, okay, well, if they had really 3 or 4 bad weeks, and then they had a really amazing week, that might have been just game flow / game situation. So, with that being said, though, we're going to utilize him more, so he'll be fine. He'll continue to get better over the next couple weeks. Chuck Sizzle, we finally got him his second pass of the season in the Vikings game. Another pass that was overthrown it was overthrown, but it was also Chuck Sizzle stopped running on the route. So it was a combination, I feel like, of it. A tad bit maybe overthrown. Maybe not even overthrown then. If Chuck Sizzle stopped running on the route, what do you expect Jake to do? He throws the ball where the guy is going to be if he's fully running to the ball, right? So he slows down the route. Bam. Jake puts the ball in the money, and, Chuck Sizzle's not there. And we're not utilizing him on offense. We're not. He had 4 snaps last week. He had like 3 snaps the week before that. It is what it is at the end of the day. They don't want to utilize him really much at all on offense. They want to strictly keep him to punt and kick return. And there's nothing we can really say / do about it. He's had 16 snaps this year out of 886 total potential snaps. Now, he did miss, a good part of the season with a broken thumb. But other than that, he's not getting many snaps on offense. When you look at the fact that Chase Brown, who didn't miss as many games, actually, Chase Brown missed 4 games. Chuck Sizzle missed 6. So 2 less games for Chase Brown, but he had like 3 or 4 times the snap count. Now, Jordan Battle, another guy who's been really taking off for us, surprisingly enough, did not have a good week 14. But again, like I said, you look at the last couple weeks, amazing. Kind of a little bit downhill when it comes to week 14, but then a great week in week 15. He is truly our best rookie of this year. Especially a guy who, in a position that we really needed him to come out of nowhere and become amazing for us. I can't stress enough how amazing Jordan Battle truly is. We have Nick Scott in that position. He takes over for that job. He takes over for Nick Scott after losing Von Bell and Jesse Bates, and he truly becomes a superstar for us. And again, very thankful we drafted him. He's played 387 out of 931 snaps this season, and a lot of that's just because he didn't really become the starter until week 12 or 13. Actually week 11. So he didn't really become a starter until later in the season, and since he's become the starter, he's been an absolute gem. DJ Turner, the rookie who has played the most snaps for us, especially with the fact that, you have Cheeto, who goes down with injury early in the season. You have injuries to the offensive line in many different departments. So you have to kind of utilize this rookie even more and more. And he's been everything and a cup of tea. Like, he's been the guy who's really stepped up and given us so many positives to look at. And again, like I said, with a very interesting season, I will say, it's been, a very bright spot, I will say, to see him actually really get better over the season. But the last couple weeks, he's been kind of going downhill, right? So 47.2, 47.4, 48.1. I feel like once Cam Taylor-Britt left the game, and he left on December 4th, I feel like it's been a kind of mismatch of, ooh, okay, well, now DJ Turner has to do a little bit more, and he is a rookie, right? He is a rookie at the end of the day. We have to keep that in consideration. He's not a guy who's going to go out there. He's not a first-round pick. He was a late second-round pick for a reason, I think. And, he is getting better, but he's not at a top echelon yet that can be a number one shutdown corner. And, he's been kind of struggling since since Cam Taylor-Britt has left the game. Myles Murphy, our first-round pick, 225 out of 931 snaps. Definitely not as many snaps as you would like to see from your first-round pick. But again, like I said, last week he actually did do a really good job, 74.1. The week before that was absolutely horrendous versus the Colts. And he's had very much a ups and down roller coaster type season. And the last week of last week, obviously, best week so far this year. But he's only had 2 greens this whole entire season. I mean, and when you have a guy like, DJ Reader who goes out for the season, obviously, Myles Murphy's not going to replace DJ Reader in any way. They're completely different positions. But when you have, some guys getting hurt in that defensive line, you need guys that you drafted in the first round to really step up and take over and be superstars for you. And that's sad part is, so far this season, he has not really been that guy. Now, is it possible he does, blossom in his second, third, fourth season? Absolutely he can, right? And that's the thing about it, right? Not every rookie is going to be their prime in their first season. Most rookies don't actually hit their prime in their first season. Most hit in the second and third season. But there are some players who really do good in the rookie season. If they are natural talents and that truly amazing, they're going to hit it in the first season. But some take some time to progress, right? So I'll be interested to see how he does progress in year 2 and 3 and 4, obviously. But for his rookie season, man, this guy definitely has struggled. He has struggled greatly in a lot of different situations. And it sucks, too, because he's coming into a defensive, minded defense. Oh, wait, an amazing defensive-minded defense with Lou Dini, putting him in pretty much the best situations humanly possible. And he hasn't been able to blossom. And again, like I said, it's going to take some time, and hopefully he does end up hitting. He's not a bust by any stretch of imagination. I've seen some people say he's a bust. He's not a bust. He just, it's going to take some time to develop, and hopefully we can figure out what's best for him and what works best for him and works best for us. We'll have to wait and see. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.